You are now tuned in to The Money Zone with your host, Folasade, the accountant for entrepreneurs. The time is now, your future waits, your money matters, make no mistake, it's not too late to dominate, so don't delay, get your money straight. The money zone, together we'll achieve your goals, we're building wealth, you're not alone, so don't delay, get your money straight.
Hey guys, welcome. It's your girl Folasade, the accountability accountant, guys. I am so excited to be with you guys on this Tuesday. We have a lot in store for you guys, connecting the dots between your personal finances and your business, guys. So we have an amazing guest today, Tina Smith. Okay. And so we're going to connect the dots because, for years, guys, I've always said, what you do on the personal side impacts how you handle your business finances. So I would love to go into the conversation with Tina, guys. So if I were you and this is my first time tuning in, like everybody else, you want to grab your pen and paper so you can take some notes because we will be dropping some gems throughout tonight's show. And please take a minute and like the video, share the video with your friends as well. And if this is your first time, please join our mailing list by going to bit.ly/TMZ notified. TMZ, is it get notified? TMZ get notified. Yes, with all caps, TMZ get notified. So do me one favor, tell your girlfriends, your biz besties, share the video, let them know that we're talking about the personal finances and your business finances for all of you that is starting up your business and you're just trying to get out there. This show is for you. Share the video. So we're going to take a quick little break and then we'll be right back. Hey guys, and welcome back. So, guys, we have an amazing guest with us today. Her name is Tina Smith. So let me give you guys a little bit of background about Tina, okay? Tina Smith, the Financial T, is an investment advisor. I like that. Registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission, States of Virginia. Give me 1 second, y'all. Of all views, expressions ain't. Okay, so we're having some technical difficulties. Okay, Trump, bring Tina in so she can introduce herself to the audience. Girl, look, I'm having major technical difficulties. We're your
Good.
So yes, if you can tell the audience a little bit about Financial T, okay, because I really like that. A little bit about yourself. Welcome to the show.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I tried not to get too back. I was backstage. I was ready to get it in. I really enjoy your theme song. It is so hot. I love it. So I was backstage trying to be cool. But thank you so much for having me. Yes, it's your girl, the Financial T. Yes, I am here. I'm so excited to be here tonight. But a little bit more about me. After 20 years, 1 month, and 26 days of military service, I decided to join the ranks of the financial advisor. I did that because I found that people were leaving the military with nothing to show for it. Like they didn't have money, a whole lot of debt, and then just basically had to take the first job offered to them. I wanted to do something to change that. So I joined a firm, and then later on I found that firm decided to go a little bit different and require clients to have way more income requirements and then way more net worth. But my clients were all younger and didn't have a lot of money to begin with, but wanted to start somewhere, just like I did at age 25. So I decided to start my own firm, the Financial T Coaching and Consulting Firm. But I am ready. Y'all know I'm so about this money. My screen is back here. We talking green. We talking that cash. I'm so excited to be here and discuss how personal finances and your business finances not necessarily commingle, but need to be in parallel conditions. So I'm really excited to be with you, Folasade. I'm so happy. Thank you for having me.
Yep, no, Tina, thank you for accepting our invite. So, guys, you want to grab your pen and paper. So we're going to go right into the business for tonight. So, Tina, let me just pick your brain now. You can say yes, no, curse me out, say you disagree, you agree, but just give me the real tea. Is that okay?
That's all I give. That's all I know how to do is give you that tea.
Okay.
I spill tea all day, every day. So I'm ready to spill some tea right here.
Yeah. So have you, because you work mainly with millennials, correct?
Primarily, I do, but I do also work with, you were introducing me and telling everyone that I am an investment manager. That is absolutely true. So I do help experienced advisors looking for an investment manager, more for retirement planning. So I work both ends of the spectrum. Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so from your professional experience with working with clients that are trying to transition into business ownership and just trying to start a business, what have you seen in terms of the connection between how they handle their personal finances and how they end up handling their business finances?
Well, that's a great question. And I'm really glad that entrepreneurs across the globe are watching this to get some good information about how to do it, but the right way. I thought because of my profession that I knew the right way to handle business finances, and it's really different than your personal, as you already know. But what I found, some of the bridges or the links between the two, really, credit is a big deal. So I know from a personal finance perspective, of course, credit is a big deal if you're looking to get a credit card or purchase a car, maybe even purchase a home. But on the flip side, from a business finances area, you want to make sure that your credit is good there as well. So of course, entering in, all they have from your business credit is your personal credit. So if your personal credit is not up to par, you're not going to get that, initial loan or that initial credit card in a way to where you really needed to upstart your business. So your personal credit has to be on par so that your business credit can get going. The second thing that I find with clients who are looking to start their own businesses, I always advise them to consider using their job to fund their dream. Mm-hmm. Now, I did not realize when I was coming out the military at 38 years old that I would want to start my own business, but that's how it happened. But I'm really glad that even at age 25, I started putting money away. And it wasn't all in either a employer sponsor plan or something that had a retirement moniker around it, but it was just in regular brokerage types of long-term savings. And I'm really glad I did that, because had I not, then me transitioning from the military and then spending money for licenses, for study material, for you name it, those things would not have been able to get to me so quickly had I not put money away 13 years prior, and every month putting away a little bit to the side. So that way, when it came time for me to do something big, and I didn't know when I was 25 that I was going to do this, but when that time came, I was able to use those finances to help tie me over, so that when my business credit was established, then we were good to go. I didn't have to run up a whole lot of debt. On the personal side, I was able to use finances that I had been putting away for years. So I always tell clients, use your job to fund your dream. Start putting a little bit of money away now. That way, when you walk away, you can for real walk away and not have to look back. And I know you want to run your business full time, and that's so important. Your gift is ready to be purchased by somebody. I pay for good cake. I pay for good pies, cupcakes, cheesecakes. So if that's your thing, you've got a line of people already to, purchase your goods, whatever your gift is. But make sure that you do at least those two things.
So Tina, you said credit, you said use your business, which I've always said for years and years and years online. You guys have been following me for 5 and 6 years now. I've been saying that from day one when I jumped online. Don't be in those jobs getting comfortable now. Use those jobs to fund your business, jobs to build your legacy and come out of it. But if you don't do what Tina did and save, right, and build up into some retirement accounts and stuff, and see, this is the thing, she was alluding to the fact that she got free money. When you have an employer, they end up matching your retirement, okay? So not only are you saving on taxes, right, you're also contributing to your retirement. And then the more you have in, sorry guys, I live by Andrews, Trump must be going somewhere, okay? So you can use that to fund your business. And so that's key. So what about them budgeting? Have you seen from your professional experience, if you haven't or have not, that's fine, but the effect of them not budgeting in their personal lifestyles and the impact on them, their non-budgeting in their businesses?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There is a very strong parallel between the two. I find that individuals who budget their personal finances to a T, as in planning where the money goes instead of wondering, hey, I had this much money and I don't have that anymore, more of a reactive stance. I found that when you're proactive in your personal finances and planning on where the money goes, I find that those individuals do very well in budgeting and planning where their business expenses go. Another thing that I find about budgeting and business expenses and how they parallel, if you're like me, you're trying to find the same quality of X for a lesser price than you would have found that otherwise. So if anybody rolls with me, they know if it's not on sale, I'm not even considering buying it. And so as I'm budgeting for the things that I need, maybe I don't need, the most expensive plan on my cell phone. Maybe I don't need the most expensive plan for my cable. And real talk, I don't have either the expensive plan on either one of those things. So I've calmed down to exactly what we need here. And then I'm able to now have some free money. So same thing with your business expense. You're trying to find those things that work for you, but shop around for the same quality. And, of course, if you can't find that same quality, you may have to be okay with spending more in this area, but maybe spending less in this area. And of course, the goal of any business is to make more money than you have to put out in expenses. So those are the things that I would see as tied. Yeah.
And you know what? People forget the key to that. Like in business, right? You can save, but the ultimate goal is to make more money than what your expenses are and to grow every year hand over foot. Okay. However, if you're not looking at the numbers, you won't be able to see where there are leaks in your business. You won't be able to see where there are overages or overhead exceeding certain areas in which it shouldn't be. And so, for example, I was losing money in terms of production. It was seeming like I was paying more for my bookkeepers and my team than what I was putting out. Come to find out, it was true. When I started to go deeper and deeper into my processes, my systems, and what was happening, it was true. Because they wasn't doing things efficiently from the beginning, I ended up losing money on the back end because of their lack of, one, implementing my systems, maintaining it, and doing the things the way they're supposed to. So when it comes down to business, you have to monitor the numbers to the T. And if you don't do that in your personal life, it's going to be difficult to just all of a sudden transition into this budgeter. It's going to be difficult to just all of a sudden transition into this saver. And so right now, if you are considering starting a business, it is time that you become a little bit financially disciplined now, create the budgets and stuff. Ms. T, she's telling you, do the budget. And, if you have any, if your job is matching your 401k or matching your Roth country, whatever they're doing, right? Take advantage of whatever opportunities, free money in the land, okay? And then also make sure you're not overspending. Put that budget together. Just because you make $10,000 a month, that doesn't mean you should spend $10,000 a month, okay? You need to save some of that $10,000 a month. Okay, so Tina, connecting the dots between all of that and this discussion, I don't know about you guys, I'm enjoying it. Put one in the chat and let me know, guys, if you're enjoying this conversation, if you're getting what we're giving you guys, and if you're taking some notes, and let me know that you're in it. Okay, so now we're going into 2021, Tina. What do you recommend small business owners or potential aspiring small business owners that are not as financially savvy as they should be? What do you think that they should do on the personal side that will allow them to adjust and become a bit more financially savvy for the business side?
Well, that is such a timely question because we're still, I don't know how exactly, but we're still in the middle of COVID. Maybe 6 months ago, I was having a conversation and I was on another virtual program and was sharing some of these same tips. But I wish that I had some new tips, but unfortunately the conditions remain the same. So therefore the tips are going to be the same in this situation. But think about the things that you have not been able to do, like we're a football family. We're Ravens fans. It is what it is. I like good defense. So every year we go to a game. Now, mind you, it is a preseason game, but we still go. We weren't able to do that this year. And because we live in Virginia, this is a big deal. We're passing the Washington football team to go to Baltimore and go to the Ravens game. So, of course, we got to eat. We get popcorn and whatnot, at the stadium. We got the new jerseys. My son loves to shop right outside before the game. But that's just an instance that we're not spending this year for obvious reasons. There's some other things that we're not doing. We enjoy concerts and we enjoy being out and enjoying, the arts. But these are things that we can't do. So with that being said, because we can't do that, that doesn't mean that this is money that I would have spent in Baltimore. Now I'm going to spend elsewhere. No, that means that these are dollars that we're going to be able to save into our savings account. Start thinking about the things that you have not been able to do. I recognize, some states, some counties, some cities are in a push-pull situation and some are opening sooner than others. But I mean, if this has not taught you anything else, it's taught you how to discipline yourself to be satisfied at home. And so there's dollars that you're not spending. Keep those dollars. And once things start opening back up, I recommend that you stay home just a little bit longer, because when you do, you're actually conditioning and disciplining yourself to not spend on dollars that you would have spent. So therefore, you can walk into 2021 with a healthy savings versus trying to determine as emergencies happen where you're going to pull from. And more than likely, if you don't have an adequate savings, it's going to be that debt that you're desperately trying to pay off.
That's good, guys. Are you guys getting what Miss Financial T just put down for you guys? She put some tea there, so hopefully you got your cup of coffee so you can, take advantage of it. She basically said, if you are the normal type of family and you budget and you plan for your things, like your vacations, your trips, your shopping, those things, right? And you're unable to do those things this year, or you have been unable to do those things this year, you should now go ahead on, not just spend it anywhere or just create an additional expense just because. No, sit that money aside. Save it, allow it to accumulate. Then she also said, when we get the opportunity to really come back outside, don't come outside right away splurging, okay? No, slow down, step back, stay in, evaluate what's happening, and then maybe assess your lifestyle at that point.
Exactly.
And then I want to actually add on to that, is that right now in COVID, you just to get one image. Hey guys, sorry about that. We're having technical difficulties. Every time Trump leaves out of the Andrews Air Force Base, it seems like it messes up my connection. So, Miss T, if you can just tell them, well, let me just recap. I don't know if you guys heard this or not, right? But she was basically saying, stay your tails in the house, y'all. Do not just come out throwing dollar signs because you were able to save, okay? No, keep your savings, hold on tight. I will actually say, go back and really adjust your lifestyle. Adjust your lifestyle to see if that's really the type of stuff that you're still interested in. During this 9 months, almost 10 months, actually 10 months that we've been in quarantine or whatever, right? Well, no, 8 months we've been in quarantine. You probably are now more of a coffee drinker than a tea drinker. You're probably a reader instead of a music person now. You're probably more of a yoga person instead of a massage. Wherever there's life adjustments, there are also financial adjustments that come into play.
Absolutely.
If you expand it, that means you're spending more, okay? If you recede it, that means you're spending less. So evaluate where your what's your entrance now and your family interest, and then I will say at that point it's safe to come outside because then you'll have a little bit more control. You just won't be doing things to keep up with the Joneses.
Exactly. I love how you put that.
Yeah. So let me ask you just one question while I'm talking about the Joneses. How have you seen, from your professional perspective, individuals deplete or hurt their future retirement or generational wealth transmission due to keeping up with the Joneses?
We don't have enough time. I'm just going to tell it straight up. We don't have enough time. But I will say a few things. Well, here's what I found, especially in this area. I have really found that vehicles are a big thing here. You can't drive anywhere without seeing a Maserati or a Bentley or a Benz or something like that. Now, I'm going to add my car into there. I drive a Jaguar, but I'm going to tell you how I saved 14 years to buy the Jaguar and could pay for it in cash when I did.
Wow.
So what I found though.
Wow, that is discipline at its.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I just had to.
No, you're fine.
That's a tough one, but at least you got the car you dream.
I did. And the funny thing is, at age 29, I said, at age 50, I want to buy my first luxury vehicle. So our financial advisor at the time says, okay, well, what is that? At the time, it was a Cadillac. Then it changed to something else. Then it changed to a Kia, girl. I mean, it just was some of everything. But we had started putting literally $125 away every month for 14 years. And we came upon 2018, and my husband was like, we got it. We can go ahead and get it now. I was like, well, okay. And then we did. So you may assume that I have a loan on that car. You may assume that I'm house poor because of the car that I drive. But the unfortunate thing is there are some people who are in terms to where they're trying to get a particular vehicle, but when their credit is not right, you could drive a Land Rover, but once you pay for it and your credit is not good, you might have spent, well over $100,000 or even $200,000 by the end of that loan period. And I want nobody under the sound of my voice to deal with that. I would prefer that if you don't put that money in savings or in savings investment vehicle over 14 years like I did, get your credit straight. And when you get your credit straight, then when you walk in, you don't have to wonder what interest rate they're going to give you. You're going to be in control and know that when you walk in, you are ready to put it down and you are ready not only to drive away with the vehicle of your choice, but it's something that you can afford because you got your credit together. But then also, if something happened to that luxury vehicle, are we able to handle said, emergency car situation? So you got to have your savings together too. So what I found is people will go in and buy the luxury vehicles, but have very bad credit in a way to where their car payments are in the thousands, unfortunately. And sometimes it's not one car, sometimes it's two.
And then you said thousands. I had to take the year back and swap. Are you kidding me?
No, not at all. Yes.
But what type of car, Tina?
This is Benz. So it's just unfortunate that, if your credit is not together and you go and get that kind of car, then, you're paying a lot of money. Now, someone may say, oh, well, you can refinance it, within a few, 6 months or a year. And that may be true. But why go into that situation with a credit score that's not going to be able to give you the absolute best interest rate to where not only that you can just get the car, but you can enjoy it. And then when things happen, you can afford to fix it. So those are some things that I've seen and coach people through as far as, keeping up with the Joneses. And the vehicle is the quickest, simplest example, but I've got plenty of examples. But the bottom line is, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. And the funny thing is, I might, think I'm cute in my car, but nobody's paying attention to me. So, so don't you worry about, who's doing what and looking. They're not paying attention. So just do you, but you do it in a way to where it keeps money in your pocket versus you trying to keep up with what everybody else is doing. Because trust me, you don't know what everybody else is sacrificing to drive said vehicle.
Yes. So what's your perspective? How do you feel about, and I don't know if it's your level of expertise, you can, say it's not and, move on. But how do you feel about the usage of credit? How do you feel about it?
Actually, I think if you use it the right way, it's a great leveraging tool. But this is something to where you've had to work on it for quite some time. I tell clients regularly that your credit score depends highly, about 65% or so, depends upon three things. 1, paying your payment. 2, on time. 3, for a long period of time. That's like 65% of your credit score right there. I mean, super simple. Pay your bill on time over a long period of time. And then you will see that your credit, will go up. So I don't want to give anybody the impression that, you go from a 400 to an 800 in 30 days. That's just not going to happen. But it is, your credit score is a reflection of your habits. Yeah. If you and also of your word. If you signed said documents that I'm going to pay this back on time every time for a long period of time, and you did not, your credit score will reflect it. So your credit will will be a reflection of your word. So because of that, when you go to purchase a home or you go and purchase a car or get a credit card, then they're going to say, oh, well, based on this credit score, your word says that you're lying about, what you said that you were going to pay back. And you don't want that. You want your credit score to be top notch. Top notch to me is anything over 720. And that way, when you walk into whatever you're going to buy, use your credit. And when you do, you're able to continue to build, but then also that's money you still keep in your pocket. So let me share with you how I did my Jaguar. Now, remember, we saved for 14 years, $125 a month in an investment. So I don't want anybody to go back and calculate like, the numbers don't work out. Because no, I didn't keep it in savings. Did not keep it in savings. Okay. No, it was not a savings account. We did put that in a brokerage account, and it worked out for us. But so what I ended up doing, I'm about to spill some tea. Right here. So what I ended up doing was, instead of selling my shares and withdrawing the money initially, what I decided to do was get a very low interest loan. We ended up getting a 0.9% loan on my car. We paid maybe a year and a half, but that was so I could keep my investments to continue to cook. Now check this. I got the loan and then called my investment company and said, hey, instead of me coming out of pocket from my earnings, for my income, I'm going to have we called it the JAG fund. I'm going to have that investment to pay the note every month. So I only took out a certain amount of money every month. And check this, 1 year in, I had more in my investment account than I had from day one of buying that car. So what does that mean? That means I was earning more in interest than I was withdrawing the payments from the car. So after about a year and some change, the stock market ended up going down. So we went ahead and resolved the loan. But that's how you play the game. You're able actually to use credit as your advantage. So instead of just giving all your money away, absolutely use your credit, but make sure you got good credit so you can play the game.
You know what, Tina? You hit on a notch that I'm really trying to get our community to get comfortable with, and that is investing. I have clients that been with me for over 13 years, and I was just telling my team this. And this was the first year that they allowed me to electronically file their return. Mm-hmm. This is the first year that they're really considering buying additional real estate outside of the home. And this is also the first year that they're even considering investing in the stock market. So I just want to get you, or even putting their money in additional instrument, retirement instrument. Have you seen a pattern of fear in the African-American community in terms of investing and putting money in the stock market and things of that nature? And also, have you seen that hinder us from really getting to the financial level of freedom or really being able to transfer generational wealth?
Yes, and here's why. Number one, I recognize what the fear is and I understand it. But when for somebody like me, I've been an investor since I was 25 years old, but that's because I had somebody who was in my life to be able to tell me and coach me through those moments of angst, of fear. When you hear rumors or whatever of the stock market going down, there is an initial thought of panic. So if you're not really sure and understand, and no one has really educated anyone about investments, which is something that I do, and I pride myself on making sure that I'm educational first. But it's important to understand kind of the underlyings, and also the confidence to know that really the stock market had been popping since before the Great Depression. I mean, that's just a fact. And so it's important for us to be educated in a way to where we can get into it and feel like we've made some educated decisions going forward. Now, for somebody like me, I'm 45 years old, and I recognize that I am closer to retirement than I was 20 years ago. That's fine. However, I am still just as risky in my investment portfolio as I was 25 years ago. Why? Because I'm not putting anything down as far as my profession or anything, probably for another 15, 20 years. So everything right now is on paper until I sell. I'm going to act like this is my share. Until I sell my shares, all that is on paper. So it is important to understand that there's going to be some ups and downs if you're in the stock market, and that's okay. Look, it's okay. The key is to stay the course. And as you look toward retirement, maybe about 2-3 years, maybe, calm down a little bit on stock market presence and maybe do something a little less risky. But I mean, while you're be in and be excited about the opportunities. I'll give you this example. It may seem totally unrelated, but it is absolutely related. So tell me, and I'm going to ask you, Folasade, you're near Andrews. So are you familiar with Potomac Mills or Arundel Mills?
Yes, I'm familiar with the Arundel Mills.
Okay. So at Potomac Mills is this side, so it's in Virginia, and Arundel Mills is a lot like Potomac Mills. So what happens is, and this is the days that I was buying Coach. I don't buy it anymore, but that's an aside. Here's the point. Normally when you go to a Coach store, what do they give you? They give you this little ticket that says 50% off your purchase. So you walk in and you're like, yeah, I got 50% off. Me, I go to the back, and I think in Arundel Mills is the far left. That's where the 50% off purses are. So I'm going to the back to that shelf that has that 50% off. I'm looking there. It doesn't matter what's in the front. That's the new stuff. That's the expensive stuff. I got a beeline right over there. So if I have $100 in my pocket, I'm ready to buy my purse. But when I go back to that 50% off area, I can look for a purse that is $200 because that sign says I'm getting 50% off. So automatically I've got my $100 in my hand and says, okay, there's a match. 50% of $200, obviously it's $100, we're good. But then I got that little ticket that person gave me in the front, and they gave me a $50, basically a 50% coupon in the front, and said that now off my entire purchase. So my $200 purse just went from 100 to now 50. So now I still got my $100. I can do one of three things. One, I can get my purse for $50 and walk out with my other 50. Of course, we're not including tax, but you get the idea. The second thing that I could do is buy 2 purses. So now I can get the black or the gray, blue, red, depending upon how I'm feeling. My third and favorite option, on the other side, they may have some matching loafers. So I'm going not only to get my purse, but I'm gonna see if there's some matching loafers on the other side of the store. So I say all that to say it's just like the stock market. If you're going to be in it anyway, think about it like that, to where when the stock market goes down and you're continuing to invest, actually what you're doing is you're buying your shares on sale, just like I did my purse. So I would rather go in with $100 and not spend it all on one thing. I'd rather have some options and some choices. And so when you're getting your shares on sale, i.e. the market has gone down and you actually continue to contribute, especially within your employer sponsored plan, it's a great opportunity to buy more when it's low. So when it comes back up, every share has a greater value than it did before.
That was amazing. And then I like the fact that you use the bag, so us girls, we can understand that. So yes, a girl. And so another thing too, and I'm going to connect the dots between what you were saying in terms of emotion, because what I realized that a lot of us have to be 100% comfortable with who we are, what we have, our perception of society, our reality, before we can even get that comfortable with saying, okay, I'm not going to spend $100. I'm not going to spend $50, and be comfortable being the budgeter or being the saver around the group. I see so many individuals get peer pressure. So like, for example, with me, I probably have more money than almost all my family in my family, but I'm the cheapest. I'm very cheap. I don't play. I'm not buying the most expensive thing. I may only treat myself to like Gucci and all that extra stuff maybe once or twice a year. I just don't do all of that, right? And I'm very comfortable with that. I'm very comfortable with being the cheapskate or the person that y'all think got it all but still act real broke and real, So do you feel as though individuals that are not 100% comfortable with who they are really now overspend a lot of times so they can fill that void or fit in? And with that being said, do you feel as though we need that internal counseling or healing before we can really become financially free?
I think it could be a multiple of things. We may feel as though, because like you were talking about earlier, maybe keeping up with the Joneses, or there may be a feeling of peer pressure, or even inside pressure to where, well, you work hard every day, so I'm just going to treat myself. And
Yes,
so there's
right.
a lot of different external and even internal pressures to, have something the new, if you will. So, but I've never really been into really all of that. So I'm cool with having the off-season bag. Child, I bought it for 50% off and probably even more than that. I'm good. And so it just depends, how comfortable you are, in your own skin with whatever you're carrying, whatever you're wearing. Because for me, again, I buy things on sale, period, dot. The funny thing is this jacket that you see that I have on right now, I've had since the 90s. It is the truth. Let me tell you how old this jacket is. I bought this jacket at Petite. Listen, I bought this jacket at Petite Sophisticate. Do you remember that store?
Oh, yes, I do.
Listen,
I do.
I was probably 24, 25 when I bought. Look, decades later, this is not a game, and I bought it on sale. This is not a game, but it really is. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, you know what? And so that's exactly what I was alluding to, that it's a lifestyle. To really become a saver, to really have your future in the forefront, you have to now transition your lifestyle. So, but you don't have to be a complete saver or feel like you're putting yourself under pressure or you can't treat yourself. Because I'm the opposite. Like, I will spend something, but I do save. You understand? And I don't overspend. I do have that motto: if you cannot buy something 2 to 3 times, threefold, you should not be buying it.
That's good.
Okay, so you're buying a Chanel bag, and that 2.5 cherry thing is 5,000. Okay, and you don't have 15,000 in your bank account. You need not to be even walking into the Chanel store. So from that perspective,
yes.
Look, from that perspective, and the reason why I was leading into that, because when I started my business, I didn't have a savings like you probably had. I didn't have a job. I mean, I didn't have a savings. I didn't have a retirement account. I basically bootstrapped. I had like my last 20,000. When I opened up shop, I was completely broke. I had to even borrow money from my sister to get my tax software. However, during the first 6 years of building my business, I used to be a label whore where I had to have Chanel, Prada, Gucci, everything, girl, like all out there. I was a little socialite here in the DMV, right? And so if I wasn't comfortable with my decision on building generational wealth and building a business for my children and building a legacy, I wouldn't have been able to be comfortable being considered basic to society, because I wasn't out there in the street of life or doing things like that. So do you think that our inability to become a little bit more disciplined in the startup phase of business also now prevents us from being able to have the necessary 9-to-5 money to invest and build our business?
Oh, 100%. It is so important that we consider what our jobs are providing. And think about this too, regardless of whatever your income is from your job, 9 times out of 10, and I'm really serious about this, you have additional money somewhere. It's just a matter of finding where your money is going. And that's where that budget comes in at. And being able to determine exactly where I need you to hear me. Where are you sending your money? Because the money is not just disappearing on its own. It's where we've sent it to. So we just have to be extremely proactive and purposeful of exactly where we are sending our money to. So take, for instance, I have a budget sheet. And the way that my budget sheet is, it has income. I'm a Christian, I'm a tither, so that's the very next thing. But the very next thing under that is us. We're going to save right after we tithe, we're saving for us. And then everything else, it is what it is. And so what I mean by that is, just going back to the example of the cable or the phone, if I need to, dwindle that down a little bit, to the basic need, because we literally have the basic plans for phone and our cable, literally the basic. And so, my son may be like, yo, we don't have that channel, and we're living without it. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Look, I had to give up the tennis channel. Everybody had to give up a channel. It is what it is. But we've gone down to the basic. We don't have the mobile hotspot. There's things that I feel like we don't have to have, maybe some wants, but no. On those things, it's literally the basic. But for me, it's more important for us to have more in savings than it is to have the updated this, the updated that. Look, and we're talking about generational wealth. Look, I got a 15-year-old, okay?
Yes.
And so with him, he goes to GameStop. I don't even know if he even knows what the new games look like. He goes right to the refurbished. He knows what's up. Whether it be, the controller, whether it be the game itself, whatever DS, whatever handheld, refurbished. Or we go to whatever, we go to, he wants shoes or whatever. He knows to look for the ones that have the tags on the front and it shows the price. He knows if he has to look in the shoe, it's probably more than what he has in his bank account. So he declines. Or he'll say, you know what, I'm going to wait a few months until I get that money. That's the kind of things, when we talk about generational wealth, that's what we need to be doing, is teaching our children on how to also be in a way to where they're very selective. Remember, this is money that you choose where you spend it. You can be as selective as you want to be on where you give your money to. So it is so important for you to budget, and then you tell your money where it should go versus trying to figure out what happened to it. Because when you're swiping and it says decline, you just, everybody's kind of shrugging their shoulders like, I don't know. No, you determine where this money goes. So the choice is yours. You're always in control. Never forget that. You are always in control.
Oh my goodness. Tina, you just spilled the tea tonight. Okay, guys, we have about like 10 minutes left. We are about to slow it down just a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of recap and have Tina recap and then tell us how you guys can follow her and everything else. And don't forget, guys, join our mailing list so you can find out all of our upcoming guests and what we have. So you guys can learn a little bit and be in tune as well by going to bit.ly/TMZ get notified. TMZ get notified. So Tina basically just said, guys, you have to now be selective with where your money goes. You've worked for that money. You've earned that money. Don't just be slaves to society. Don't be just slaves to your peers, and be selective. And you have to be certain as to what you really ultimately want. Do you want to have a large savings where you guys are financially free and debt free and everything? Or do you want to just look like a pop star and be broke? Like, you really have to ask yourself, what do you want? And you have to be willing to make the necessary sacrifices.
Yes.
Okay. Able to get to that point, and Tina was giving us an example of the many sacrifices that her family endure, and that's basically by cutting back on the television, cable, and all of those things. So like, we don't really eat out in our house. We eat out once a week, and that's just because we just to get out, because of COVID or whatever.
Right.
So we don't really do eat out too much, and my kids don't even spend. So just to give you an example, my child, so she was eyeing me down about this Robux money when she started working for me in the company. And I was like, all right, Brent, so I'm going to buy you this Robux, right? But I'm not going to buy you anymore because you keep telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about, and that once you buy this Robux, you would never have to buy it again. She didn't really know. So she go and put her whole $30 or something she had. And that money was gone in the blink of an eye. Tina, do you know? It's been 7 months, y'all. She ain't asked for no more Robux money or nothing again. She didn't even want to use her own money to spend it. She haven't even asked about it. Not even interested. She'll play it now, but she's not concerned about buying anything, doing anything. And those are those disciplines. So while everybody else, her friends are saying they bought stuff they didn't done this, she's comfortable. She's like, oh, I know what it's like. I'm good. I don't need it, because she don't want to spend her money, and she know I'm not going to allow her to eat time. So those those are just the little different sacrifices. You have to be willing to say no to certain things. And it's okay for you not to always be at the party. It's okay for you not to have the freshest outfit on or the freshest wig. You just have to know that your mind is fresh and your savings account is banked, okay? And that's all that really matters. And so it was one more thing I wanted to ask you. What was one thing that you sacrificed to build, savings and to get what you want that hurt you the most? What was one thing that you sacrificed?
Listen, and if you don't know, I'm also an author. I wrote the book, It's Your Turn, Walk in Your Financial Purpose. I actually have a copy here to show everybody. But this is my book. You can get it on Amazon. You can go right to my website, thefinancialtea.org. That is THEFINANCIAL, the letter T.org. And you can order your special edition copy today. But what I wrote in the book, the thing that hurt me the most, and this may sound super silly, it was my Starbucks habit. So I am a venti caramel apple spice, extra caramel, not only drizzle in the cup, but also on the whip. And if it's not venti, it's why are you even getting it? So I decided that, and it hurt. I found as I was evaluating my budget, I found that I was spending $4 or so a day. Now this is assuming that the only thing I'm doing is getting one cup. That means on some other days, I might have done happy hour to where between 3 and 5, once I got off work and I used to catch the VRE from LaFont Plaza. This is assuming that I did not go back during happy hour so I can get my, cup of goodness on the way home. This is assuming that I didn't get a bagel or a sandwich. So this is just on drinks, like $120 per month. And I found that if I even cut that in half, that's $60. That might not seem like a lot, but $60 could be moved towards my savings. $60 a month could be moved towards my investment portfolio, maybe even to put more money towards my employer sponsored plan. $60, could be used toward getting a life insurance policy in which anything happens to me, my family's good to go. So these are things that were important enough to me to give up that one thing that I desperately wanted to spend my money on, but knew I had to give at least half of it up in order for my financial future. Now, I'm not saying that coffee was the end all be all ruining of anybody's financial plan. It's not, but it is finding that one thing that you feel like you can't live without, but if you discipline yourself, you actually can. And now I can't even tell you the last time I've been, to get my caramel apple spices. It's been a minute. But then again, just like we're talking about, COVID, I've had to live without it and it's okay. Right. And I'm still breathing. I'm still fine. Things are still okay. And, I can still continue to save my money. So yeah, that was the one thing that hurt my feelings the most, but it is what it is. I'm good today.
Yeah. Okay, Tina. So we're almost done with the show. If you can tell everybody how they can find you, follow you, purchase your book, this is your time.
Hey, everybody, so I am on Facebook and Twitter at The Financial T. That's one word, at THEFINANCIAL. And that's just the letter T. You can follow me there on Twitter or Facebook. Also on the gram, on Instagram, I am there. And this is at _financial_T. I also have a YouTube page under the Financial Tea as well, where you can see my tea sipping Sundays, where I go live every first Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're just vibing together about our dollars. And then also on there, I also have this skit called Chantel Asks. So this is me being Chantel the skeptic about, what's really going on, what you really mean by budget, so I got these bills, what you say about that? Mm-hmm. And then the Financial Tea comes on and talks about some solutions to Chantel's issues. So you can always catch me there on YouTube under the Financial Tea as well. You can always go to my website, which again is thefinancialtea.org. That is THEFINANCIAL, the letter T.org. You can learn more about my mission to educate everybody humanly possible about finances. Get on there and check out why, you might need a will, even if you're a young person. Check out why life insurance, why savings, why have a satellite bank versus a bank, right here. That's free information. Go check it out. You can also look to purchase my book. I got t-shirts that says make dollars make sense. So you can always get that. But then also, and maybe most importantly, there's an opportunity to talk with me for 30 minutes, absolutely at no cost to you and no strings. And so if you decide to go on there tonight, let's give you 24 hours. If you're on there between now and 8:30 tomorrow night and you sign up for a free consultation, it may say 15 minutes, but I'm going to give you 30. So we're going to talk about everything that you want to talk about, your goals, and then how we may be able to serve you at the Financial T coaching and consulting firm where I am the president.
Yes, Tina Smith, we want to say thank you so much for joining us today on the Money Zone, guys. Don't forget to follow her, patronize her, and tell her Folasade sent you. Guys, hopefully you took notes, and I will see you all next Tuesday. Good night.
Bye, everybody.